At the time of this recording, the final episode has not come out. The final episode has not come out. So my opinion could have changed because a lot of what I'm about to say very much relies on how the final episode plays out. Okay. Last up, we have Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 2. Mushoku Tensei, the peak of all isekai, the peak of all character writing, the peak world building, the peak everything. Or is it? It was fucking fantastic. One of the best episodes that this series has ever done. Then episode 11 happened, and I got told by some people in the fan base that this one is going to be a filter. This one's going to be a fucking filter. And I was like, I can't be filtered out of Mushoku Tensei. This shit peak, man. This shit peak. What? How the fuck am I going to be filtered? Bro, I'm not filtered out, but I have not screamed that hard at a TV screen since reading Domestic Girlfriend. Swear down, man. Swear down. Sydney was up in her office doing some work, and she heard me screaming, and she was like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And I'm like, and all I could say was, "This bitch. What is going on right now? What is happening?" She goes back in, and she continues to doing work, and I'm just like, ain't no way. That's a Sydney POV. It's just me fucking losing my mind in the background, man. I have seen a lot of talk about this episode of Mushoku Tensei, especially down to the fact that it's going down the harem route, right? And as soon as it did that, I was like, doesn't surprise me. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know it was coming, but it didn't surprise me at all in terms of Rudy as a character. And did I believe for a second that Rudy was going to be faithful to his wife? No, not for a single second. We knew the type of person that Rudius was. And I've seen a lot of people get upset about the fact that what he did was a dick move. And what Roxy did was also a dick move. They both did things that were not great and did not show their character in a positive light. That I don't think you can argue, right? Even if all parties are okay with a harem ending and a harem route, the manner in which it was done felt a bit dickish. That is what's so good about it, though. See, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. And I think that is fine to go down that route, because one of the things that has made Mushoku Tensei stand out is the fact that every character is flawed. Every character is, makes mistakes, right? Every character makes mistakes and is flawed, and they learn from it, and they make sure that big decision or that big mistakes leads to a learning moment to grow their character. So, where do I need to go? I need to pick my words very, very carefully. Because I don't have a problem with the harem route. In fact, I have watched isekai that have gone the harem route. I recently read the isekai Realist Hero, and that goes down the harem route. And when there was a point in that you realize it was going the harem route, I'm like, fucking yeah, oh yeah. I was like, yo, finally, someone who is going down the harem route. Fucking yes, okay. So I have no problem with the harem route at all. My problem is with how it was executed. Biggest thing I couldn't stop thinking during this episode was, what does Rudy learn from all this? We know he's a bad person, or we know he's a flawed person, I should say. We know Rudy is a flawed person. He's done things that are creepy, that I don't agree with, but every time it seems like he did something like that before, it was always done to at least characterize him, or it was always done as a stepping stone for a learning lesson to come. So when the events happened, I was waiting for that moment when the consequences hit, right? I was waiting for that moment where you're like, all right, you've done a dick move. I'm ready for the tea, baby. I'm ready for the fucking tea. I am ready. I am ready for the tea to happen. And then it didn't. And then nothing, and then absolutely nothing happened at all. There were no seeming consequences out of this. There were no learning lessons out of this. In fact, it really felt like they were rewarded for being a dickhead, if that makes sense. It really felt like they got rewarded for being a dickhead. And I was waiting, because I was like, Elianise, oh fuck, what's her name again? No, the fucking grandma. I was like, oh, she's gonna bring down the whip, baby. She is going to bring down the whip. And then she's like, actually, it was my idea. I was like, what? And then I was like, okay, maybe Roxy didn't know. Maybe because I was like, Rudy, you should really be saying right now that you have a wife and a kid's coming. Rudy, you should be really saying this right now. So I was like, Roxy, okay, maybe Roxy doesn't know. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe she just was, in the heat of the moment. And then it was like, I knew the entire time. And I was just like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? And then... There's so much, man. There's so fucking much. And then I was like, okay. Maybe Rudy is going to realize and regret his actions. Maybe there's going to be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. And then the worst we get is like I'm a scumbag. Oh well, already forgotten about that. I'm happy now. And the biggest thing that threw me off, right? The biggest thing that threw me off out of all of this was this motherfucker had a 12 episode arc curing his depression via erectile dysfunction because he got fucking dumped by a girl. His fucking father just died in front of his eyes in the most horrific way possible, and then that was completely fucking solved in like a millisecond thanks to chasing some bird, man. The fact that we went through such a big character arc to cure that part of his depression, and then this part, which should seemingly be like a much bigger deal, it was just like instantly solved in the weirdest way possible. And for the first time, it just felt like the writing was off. It just felt like there was no consequences to any action. There was no learning lesson. There was no point where people would try to become a better person. It kind of just felt like this was the kind of plot progression I would expect from a typical harem isekai, And, I can come into Mushoku Tensei. I am a guy that likes domestic girlfriend, that likes rent-a-girlfriend. I love the fucking tea. I watch so many trashy isekai. I have no problem with something being like your generic power fantasy, things going the harem route, and some spicy fucking drama with people making the wrong decisions. I fucking love that. But I always viewed Mushoku Tensei as like something different. The reason I'm getting so emotional about this is because I thought this was such a beautiful story that had such a beautiful message to it, that played into a grander point of trying to become a better person, of trying to learn from your mistakes, make new mistakes, learn from those mistakes. And for the first time, it felt like that point of the story wasn't coming across in the most recent events. So that is why it really left me conflicted with this, with the events, because, you know, I'm not surprised that Rudy went the harem route. What I would expect to come with it is that he gets some shit for it. You know, no matter how you put it, Rudy told Sylphie that he would stay faithful, and at the end of the day, he didn't ask for he didn't even get Sylphie's permission. You know, just kind of seems like a dick move. It just seems like a dick move to me. And Roxy as well. Obviously, Roxy, you know, Roxy doing what she did for a emotionally vulnerable Rudy as well. Also, kind of seems like a dick move. Whatever. Characters are flawed. That was never my big problem with it. I just want more tea. But this is why I said it very much depends on what happens in that last episode. Episode 12, whether he gets at least like the smallest pushback, you know? Even when his father did what he did, at least there was some fucking repercussions to it. At least he got some pushback. You know, it almost tore his family apart, for fuck's sake. You know? So, maybe this plays into something wider. I don't know. Maybe this will get addressed in the very next episode. I don't know. But I think the best way that I can verbalize my opinions of what happened in episode 11 as it stands without seeing the wider consequences, if there are going to be any, it just didn't sit right with me. It's the way that it played out just didn't sit right with me. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And the only reason, and I would not give a shit at all if I thought Mushoku Tensei was on the same level as your spicy domestic girlfriend, as your renter girlfriend. I would be cheering for this shit. But to me, Mushoku Tensei to me was like peak isekai. So that's why I'm being so harsh on it. Roxy's so base? No, you guys are so fucking wrong, man. You guys are so wrong. You guys are do you know what this made me realize? Do you know what this fucking made me realize? You fucking Roxy fans look at that and you're like, based. She's still cute. Still cute. She's still cute though. I still would. And I'm like, you motherfuckers are the Taylor Swift fans of the isekai community. I swear to fucking God, guys. You guys are worshipping this girl, man. You guys are fucking worshipping this girl. She could do a fucking errand, commit mass genocide, and you'd be like, yo, the holy relic though. The holy relic. Oh man.